grab some players from the portal to complement the players you have in-house and go win big. Keon Coleman, transfer portal, Michigan State. Jaheim Bell, transfer portal, South Carolina. He has put some pieces together to be a top 4 team in the country, and Dabo just won't do it. And he's going to be left behind if he doesn't embrace this model, because everyone else in his league is doing it.
Yeah, he had such a recruiting base too, and I think that's where he was winning. And I'm not suggesting that that's gone off the deep end. He's still recruiting well, but it's more difficult. And I think you have to be concerned. And I'm not taking anything away from what he's accomplished. I mean, the guy has won 2 national championships. He played for 4 national championships. He's been in the playoffs, 5 times? I think, Matt, maybe
5
more.
or 6. Yeah, I think it's 6.
And, he's produced legendary talent, from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence to, a million guys on the defensive line. But I don't know when I've seen someone really at the top of the game fall this dramatically, this quickly, and not really be like in their 70s or something, where all of a sudden you just hit that age and it's a crash and burn. I mean, this guy is barely 50, I think. And it's staggering to watch what has happened. And it seemed like it happened overnight, although I really do think this has been trending now for a couple of years.
Well, because look, even going back to Taj Boyd, you have Taj Boyd, you have Deshaun Watson, and you have Trevor Lawrence, 2 players that you named. They're generational type quarterbacks. And when you have 2 of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the country, surrounded by some other talent, things are going to go well. When there's a gap in quarterback play, DJU had a moment, transferred off to Oregon State. Cade Klubnik, I believe, was the number 1 rated dual threat quarterback in the country. And it just hasn't taken. And so Clemson being if you ask me to list surprises going into November, Clemson being 4-4 is easily at the top of that list.
But you juxtapose Dabo Swinney and really the nemesis that he had really from 2015 through 2018. That they played 3 or 4 times in the playoffs, a couple of times for the national championship. But Nick Saban, without that generational quarterback this year, has cobbled a team together that is on the precipice of one of the biggest games of the year, and with a win sets himself up for a dramatic run. And and then you measure that against Dabo Swinney, and quite frankly, I think the conclusion is that Nick Saban is just a far superior coach, who even at 72 this week is adaptable, where Dabo in his 50s is not. And I think that's the message of 2 of the really most interesting stories of this year, and have been of every year. One guy, the older guy, who doesn't need to do anything else, who's already proven himself with 7 titles and 6 at Alabama, tweaks and changes and whether he doesn't embrace the portal or NIL, but he manages with it. And Dabo Swinney, who looks like the old man screaming at the kids to get off his lawn.
I will be curious as we wrap up here on this final Sunday of October. I will be curious in the offseason if there are conversations amongst him and his administration, like, hey, coach, like you've been left, you need to start adapting to this world, because if not, you're going to be left behind. Give me something I can feel. Light a cigarette just so I can breathe. Give me something I can feel. Light a cigarette just so I can breathe.